Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. It has come to my attention that it is prom season. Prom season is here, and I haven't been to prom. We're not going to age myself. We're not going to do it. But I wanted to do a really basic and very easy to follow eyeshadow tutorial for prom, and this is going to be leaning more on the neutral side of eyeshadow. We're not going to do anything colorful today, like a very beautiful easy eyeshadow tutorial that's also going to be a little bit of glam. But today we're doing just an eyeshadow look, and we're going to be using Not a Box of Chocolates, and I chose this eyeshadow palette because it is very easily accessible. You can buy it on ColourPop. You can also buy this on Ulta Beauty. You can find it in Ulta Beauty stores. It's a neutral color story. It has some cool tones, but it also has some warm tones in here. So it has a mishmash, and it's very like travel friendly. This is how big it is. It's honestly like it's such a travel friendly palette, and the quality of these shades are just absolutely stunning. It's 16 shades, and I think it retails for about $20. So if you have this palette, or if you're looking for a good neutral palette, this is the one that I chose today. It does not come with a mirror, but if you and your girlfriends are getting ready for prom, this is a great palette to start with. We're going to be using the Singe Beauty brushes today. These are very user-friendly. They're a 5-piece brush set, and when Angelica Nifas designed these, she actually put in a cute little card insert with all of the brush numbers and like what they do on the back of it as well. So you do get like a little guide to like how to use these, or you can just use them whatever way you feel, because makeup has no rules, makeup has no limits. Makeup is expression of one's self. You can buy the Singe Beauty brushes for $55. You don't have to buy those to create this makeup look. I'm just using these as a reference so that you guys have some brushes to reference and brush sizes to reference if you are looking for something. We're going to use the EO3 from Singe Beauty and the Not a Box of Chocolates palette. Again, this is such a beautiful, beautiful palette. We're going to use Amaretto, which this is a very, it's almost warm toned, but it's a little bit cool toned as well. So if you're a type of person who really just likes chocolatey brown eyeshadows, this is like the palette for you. We're going to tap out my eyelids with my Beauty Blender really quick. They were primed with just a concealer, and the concealer I used is the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in Cloud. This I find just completely like shears over, and it really helps my eyeshadow stick. So we're using Amaretto, and this is the Singe Beauty EO3. It's just a huge blending fluffy brush. We're going to take this and like look how pigmented this is. This is why I chose this palette, because it's just so pretty. We're going to take this eyeshadow. We're going to blend this into the crease. And to switch in between shadows, let's say I want to use this brush again, we're going to be using my Sigma Switch. This is the travel version, but they do have a full-size version. And I will also take some Cinema Secrets, spray the brush. This cleans it and it sterilizes it. And then I use my Sigma Switch to get the excess powder off. And it just gives me a really nice, clean base to work with. So that's what it's looking like right now. We're going to take the Singe Beauty EO2. We're going to use this to pack on color on the outer corner and into the crease. And the shade that we're going to use is 90% Cocoa. This is a very, very, very dark shade. And you need to be careful when you're blending this out because it is very pigmented. But if you want that glammy, dramatic, almost smoky eye effect, this is like perfect for you. And what I'm doing is I am patting this onto the outer corner first. Pat, pat, pat. And then we will go in and blend. Now you may get a little bit of fallout here. Don't brush it away with your hand. Actually wait until you're done. And we'll use, I have a powder brush that I use for setting my face, and we'll brush it away. So go right almost to the middle of the lid. But we're going to start taking this, and we're going to now blend in circular motions, and we're going to create this brown, smoky glam eye. So you're going to just continually blending, and we really just don't need a lot of like pigment because it's so pigmented on your lid. Like, look how pretty that is. And it's already creating that beautiful smoky effect. Don't worry, we will be cleaning up the edges. I'll show you guys how to clean up the edges pretty easily. It looks like a mess, but that's okay. So we are going to wipe away the fallout. I just have my powder brush that I use when I set my powder. We're going to brush away any of this fallout because we are done with that brown shade. I'm going to take a clean Singe EO5 and we're just going to make sure all of this is blended beautifully. Okay, now for the inner corner, I want to do something with a lot of sparkle, a lot of like metallic. We're going to start out with a cream shadow, and the cream shadow we're going to use is the Maybelline Color Tattoo Socialite shade. And this is like a rose gold shade. Very true rose gold, but this is going to help you do almost like a faux cut crease. And we're going to be taking, I have here a Singe Beauty EO4 brush. This is clean, obviously. And we're going to take it just on one side and pat this on the inner corner. So start here. And we're going to really concentrate this color on the inner lid. With cream shadows, like patting it on first and then blending out is what works best usually, because you can get the pigment right onto your eye and then you can actually go back in and blend it out when it dries down to the powder formula. Okay, so this is with the Socialite shade from the Color Tattoo. Now we're going to use the EO1 from Singe Beauty. This is like tapered and it's a flat brush and it's perfect for getting in the inner corner. And we're going to use the shade Champagne Truffle. This is absolutely stunning. It is so beautiful. The brush picks it up absolutely, like it's just so beautiful. Take this shade, pop this right over top of that cream shadow. And what we're doing is we're patting it on first, and then we will go back in and blend this. But this is just giving a really nice champagne, rose gold, very, very like glam and beautiful eyeshadow look. And we're not taking it quite to the brown. We're staying more on the inner corner side. But as you can see, it's like super pigmented and it really just clings to that cream shadow so beautifully. Are you seeing that? That's just so pretty. We're going to use the Sigma Switch, the shadow side, and we're going to switch shades using the EO1. And I want to just put pigment so that it blends together really, really well. We're going to use Honeycomb Crunch. It's this shade right here. It's a beautiful like bronze shade. And we're going to plant this right in the middle of the eye. Pat first to get the pigment on. So before we blend anything together, I am just going to use my Sigma Switch and we're going to clean off the bristles of the brush. And it is double-sided, which is amazing. And it's actually really, really super travel friendly. And we're going to take that EO1 and we're just going to blend this. I call it the seams because it reminds me of like sewing. We're going to blend the edges where the two colors meet. So first we're going to do the dark shade. And then I'm going to clean it off because there probably is some excess on there. And we're going to blend the shimmer shades together. Okay. So now that everything is like really beautifully blended together, if you don't like any of like the dark up here, you can take some of the shade, it's called Little Nougat, and use the EO4 from Singe. I did clean this off and just get a little bit on the brush and shade up here and really just blend the edges together up here. It's still a little bit messy on the other, like right in here, and that's okay. It's going to happen. So I really like to take the Beauty Blender that I applied my foundation with, and I go in and I clean up the edge here. This is like an eraser, and it really helps get rid of that fine edge without really removing the foundation. And I just take it a little bit and I go pat, 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 pat. Pat, 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 pat. You can also take some of like a loose setting powder, and you can take a brush and you can erase it after you do the beauty blender. So I'm going to take, this is actually like a little blending eyeshadow brush. It's from Moda. It's just a crease brush, but it's fluffy. And you can take a little bit of your setting powder, go in, and also clean up the line right here. Now, if you also want to like put your base on after your eyeshadow, you can do that as well. I've just found that this really helps like diffuse out any shadow that you get in the corner of your eyes on the outer corner. And it just helps make it blend a little bit better. Very glam, very glitzy, very like prom-y. Like you could definitely keep it like this if you wanted to add a lower lash line shade. I would go in with Amaretto, which is the one that we used in the crease. Singe Beauty has a beautiful brush for that. It's the E04. The E04 is great for like under the lash line. I had one, it was from Alter Ego, the number 9 brush, and this one's just a little bit more large and in charge, whereas the Singe Beauty one, the brushes are a little bit longer, so it gives it more of a diffused look, and I really like the brush for this. So we're just going to take Amaretto, tap off the brush before we apply it, and really get in there and diffuse this color. You can also bring it into the dark shade right here. That'll help blend it in. If you want to take this brush and clean it off using like a Sigma switch, you could even use like a paper towel or a towel in general. You can take this brush and dip into Champagne Truffle and bring this into the lower lash line. And it just diffuses it really, really nicely. The E04 is like one of my favorite brushes for my lash line. It's just so beautiful. And then if you have any fallout, again, take just your typical powder brush and brush it away. Before we do brows or anything like that, I always spray my face, and it sets the eyeshadow in place as well. Setting spray I'm using is the Milani Make It Last setting spray. This is the large bottle, and it's $16 at Target. Here is like a glitzy, glammy eyeshadow look. And for brows, if you just want a very simple brow look, I do recommend just the e.l.f. Brow Lift. This is like the Anastasia Brow Freeze. It'll freeze them in place. If you want to fill in your eyebrows first, the Box of Chocolates palette actually has some great like brow shades. I like using this one down here, which again is 90% cocoa. My brows are very dark. This is a little bit on the warm side, so you have to be careful. So I typically brush my brows up and then just use cocoa to fill in some of my like bald areas on my brows here. Cocoa has a little bit of a brown, like warm leaning tone, but it's pretty cool tone and it matches my brows fairly decently well. So I use this to just fill in my brows a little bit. Now, if you want to like diffuse out the powder, like let's say you have a harsh line, usually I just go in with my finger and I pat it out just a little bit and it picks up some of the excess product. And then if you really want to just like glue them down like crazy, like I said, the Brow Lift is amazing. Sometimes I'll just use an eyebrow gel. This one is from Bay Brow, and it's actually it's a growth serum, but it's a great eyebrow gel as well. So we'll put this one on today. This one's a little bit more flexible. If you want your brows to like stick to your face, then I do suggest the e.l.f. Brow Lift. But this is just a really great alternative. And then because it's a growth serum, I like to put this on before I put my mascara on to prime my lashes. For mascara, I like the Milani Anti-Gravity Mascara. This is such a great, like, fake lash feeling mascara. I love this on the top lashes. And then for the bottom lashes, I have been using the Maybelline Stiletto. This is like almost a tubing formula, but it really separates the lower lash line really beautifully. And it's a lightweight mascara formula, so it doesn't do well on the top lashes, but it's really great for the bottom lashes. I'm gonna curl my lashes real quick. If you're looking for a great eyelash curler, Revlon has a really great one. So the anti-gravity mascara is very fake looking, very volumizing, and it can get a little bit clumpy, so you just have to be careful with how you apply this. And if you just wiggle and roll your brush up at the same time, it coats the lashes so much better. I also suggest that when you use this mascara, if you're using this one or any mascara in general, you wipe off the tip of the mascara because that can just leave clumps all over your lids. And then for a better application, almost like look up at your lashes. Like you can see the difference between the two sides already. And that's just, it's kind of like a coat and a half, but usually I do about 2 coats of mascara before switching to the other eye. I let it dry down just a little bit, and then I sometimes will put a 3rd coat on, and that's just so it gives it a little bit more like fake lash volume. If you're looking for a really long-lasting lip formula, I love the Maybelline Vinyl Inks. The 2 shades that I have right now are 104, 105 Golden, and 10 Lippy. This one's more like my natural lip shade. This one's more of like an orange lip shade. It really depends on which way you want to go. I'm going to use this one today. You do have to shake it, and then to apply it, like look how dark that is, but it's really pretty. I like to take the lip ink, line my lips, and then fill them in. And this one is actually really close to my lip shade when it's like, it's like a shade darker. If you want something that's gonna like last all day, this is like the perfect formula. So definitely the vinyl inks. You don't need a lip liner. Just put this on and go. It's so pretty. Actually, if you put a lip liner on with this, it tends to move around a lot and it doesn't have that staying power that you're looking for like a prom night. Here is the completed eyeshadow look with a little bit of a lip tutorial with the vinyl lip inks, but this is like a glam prom night makeup look with the box of chocolates from ColourPop. Again, you can find this at Ulta Beauty. You can also find this on ColourPop's website, and you can actually, I believe you can find it at Target because they also have ColourPop products now. But this is such a great little palette. It's so travel friendly, and it has a lot of shades in here to work with if you're looking for a really glam look, or even if you just want to do something super neutral. But this is such a great little palette for prom night. So if you guys like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel for more tutorials, and I hope I get to see you again in my next video. Bye!